right, hello, just getting set up here. Got a few people coming on. Hello. Go ahead and drop your name in the comments as you arrive. Hello, Frederick. Hello, Tina. How's everybody this morning? All right, I'm dueling my screens here, so taking a peek over. Give everyone who signed up a few minutes to get on. For those of you here, I would love to hear in the comments what your experience was with the purchase process, and if this was a surprise, if this is a new feature for you that you're excited to learn about. I definitely tested it out with some other accounts. It seemed to work pretty seamlessly. So excited about that for everyone who might be able to use it. Good, glad you're doing well, Tina. So yeah, let me know if the purchase process was easy for you. I know some people used PayPal, some people used a credit card, and some people didn't have payments set up, and so this was the first time in doing that. So part of my goal here is to have a little conversation also about the different experiences that people had. You see, I'm going to close some of these other windows here. Save me some juice. You do personal training. Okay, good. Easy for both of you. Mila, hi Mila. Oh, good. It was easy. Good. And I hope everyone feels comfortable with it. Of course, you're here. You felt comfortable with it. We hope as people who are delivering live videos that our audience, if they're not quite comfortable with it yet, will be. It definitely is secure. I've had payments set up on Facebook for a long time, and I've not had any issues. So glad to see it was easy for you guys. So it looks like we had a couple more people hopping on. Okay. So what I'm going to be doing here is sharing some links with you. Callie, hey, oh good, it was seamless for you as well. Excellent, so glad. That is good news. Because this is also something in doing this with you guys, we can all let people know that we've gotten feedback from a lot of people that this is easy. Oh, Tina, you're a fellow work instructor. Hey, excellent. Oh, good. Google for Education Certified Trainer. Oh, awesome. You have a lot of opportunity here, and we're definitely going to talk about the fitness instruction piece because as work instructors, this will be something we'll talk to Haley about, but the whole idea of, as you've probably seen and experienced, going live and being shut down because of copyright is something we are definitely going to talk about in this session, and what options are available for fitness instructors or other creatives or people who might be wanting to use music when they go live and do videos like this. So we definitely will, that is a key part of this conversation today. So, all right, we're at 11:04. I know we've had a few more people sign up, but something I've also tested with this is that it is gated content. So those of you who have paid for it, whether you're here right now or not and watching this on a replay, please let me know if you're watching this on a replay. Go ahead and chime in on the chat to let me know if you're on a replay, because part of what I want to also test out, I have tested this out with another account, but I want to make sure from the general public as well who's watching this, what their different experiences are on different browsers, on different devices, and that I want to make sure that you can in fact see this only as a purchased event participant, because the idea is this is a paid online event. Only those of you who paid for the online event can see me live in the group right now or in the event right now. And then the idea is that just like any other live video, this video will stay on the event and also post on my Facebook page, but only the people that purchase the content will be able to see it. So to kind of go back to the beginning and introduce all of this, I'm excited that you guys are here, and I hope that you come away with something today to make this process a lot easier, because that's kind of the goal, right? As I was so excited about this process, the opportunity not only to use it for myself, but to have, clients and share with other people how to do this to make some additional money in their business, but without having to go through all the hiccups and annoyances that, quite frankly, exist all the time in Facebook features, especially as they're changing so many things. So I'm going to start from the top with some things that are things that certainly you could find on your own and walk through, but then we're going to get into some of the experiences I had in setting this up, in testing it out, in payments and tracking, and just some of the questions that might come up, like, hey, do I have to delete it? Can people see it? How does this work? How do payments work on the back end, and all of those things, so that you guys are armed and ready to go. So I was thinking of doing a screen share, but it also had some hiccups that I was experiencing in kind of crashing out on me, not going live when I tested this out. So I thought, this first one, I'm just going to go live the regular way. And what I'm going to do is drop some URLs in the comments for you guys. And then if you want me to, I'm also got like a little cheat sheet that I'm setting up. So feel free to drop me a direct message and shoot me your email address, and I will be happy to also send you that little cheat sheet I'm putting together of some screenshots, since I'm not doing the screen share route today because some of the issues I was experiencing. So I'll shoot that out to you guys afterwards. So basically, you'll see me peeking over here as I grab some of the links that I'm going to share with you. So the first one that we'll take a look at here, and you can follow along with me, is basically where it introduces this feature. So, do go ahead and take a look at these different URLs and the different help material because it'll give you a deeper understanding of how it works. But as you can see, if you go to the link, this first link I sent you is going to take you to the Business Help Center. And the first thing that you'll see on that page is check your eligibility for paid online events. And what that means is, without reading all of the terms and service and nitty-gritty details, is basically there are different requirements that Facebook asks of you to use this feature. And basically, it's clicking a button. It's clicking a button to say, I am not going to break terms of service. I will only be, doing this with material that is mine or in the public domain or not copyrighted. And that you're not going to be selling things that are against Facebook's terms of service. So that's all that really means. And so for the most part, you can probably count on that your eligibility is set and you're ready to go. Now, to check that, there's actually a screen on your Facebook account that you can check that eligibility as well. And so that link, I'm going to go ahead and share that with you as well in the comments. And yes, Tina, I see a comment there. What I'll do in the follow-up material that I'm going to send you is, when you click the button to go live, there is an option to screen share or use your camera. And so what I'll do is I'll show you a screenshot of where you'll find that when you go live in the follow-up materials. The thing with Facebook Live is that you can either screen share or be there personally. And like I said, I've done screen share before on my business page publicly, and it worked okay. But when I tried to go live, when I was testing this with screen share, it just didn't. It just kept churning and churning and churning. But when I went back to camera, it just worked fine. So that's why I decided to do this way for today. But I'll send you a screenshot of that in the follow-up notes for sure. So here's the second link I'm going to drop into the comments here if you guys want to take a look. Basically, in that link, you're going to see something that tells you basically my page is eligible for monetization, which basically means I'm allowed to set up a paid live event on Facebook. And it's just, if you haven't done it before, it's just going to have you click a couple of buttons. And if you have no infractions against you, you'll get a nice little green check, and then you're on your way. So then, once you know that you have met all of those requirements, the next step is then to actually set it up. So you're going to confirm my content is authentic, it's mine, I own it, I agree to all of the terms of services, and that you're in a country where it's offered. I think it's 20 countries right now, and clearly the United States is one of them. So if you're outside of one of those countries and you don't see the feature yet, that may be why. But I think everyone here today is in a country where it's accessible. So once you've gone through and you commit that you are, agreeing with terms of service and your page qualifies. Okay. Oh, yes, that's a great point, Tina. So what you want to do is instead of clicking directly on the link, so that you don't leave the event. Yeah. What you want to do is copy and paste, or what you can do is right click on the link and say open in a new window or open in a new tab. And then that way I'll stay here and you won't have to jump back in. But that's a great reminder. Thank you. So I'm going to share the next one. And the next one, if you do the copy paste or right click and screen share, this is your onboarding. So, okay, Rose, yeah. So you can just kind of watch, take some notes, and then go through the process later. I'll send you, so that you don't have to go through all the comments. Like I said, I'm going to send a follow-up checklist so that you can just go through them one at a time, step by step in sequence. So the next step then is the onboarding. And if you are able to go to that link, what you'll see is, your own business page or any of the business pages that you perhaps might admin will show up and tell you, okay, you've clicked through on the monetization, on agreeing to terms of service. Yes, you are able to do paid live events. And then the next step is your onboarding, as it says. So you're basically going to set it up. And what you need to do is you need to have a W-9 form completed. So it's basically treating this as like a contractor. So you have to have that W-9 form uploaded into Facebook so that when they pay you, because there's a payment process behind this, that all the tax stuff is set up and ready to go. So you'll upload the W-9 form, and then once they have that form, you're going to set up your payment account. And you can either set up a bank account or you can set it up through PayPal, which is I find to be the easiest. And you may feel a little bit safe. Some people might feel a little bit safer with that because they're not putting a bank account information into Facebook. You should be safe, but I understand if you're not comfortable with it. So I used PayPal. So that's where you can connect your payment information. Once you have done that part, you'll get an email to confirm. That email or the information in the fine print might tell you this could take up to 24 hours, those sorts of things, but I got it right away. And I got that email and I tapped to click and I went right in and I was able to create my event with the option to add it as a POE, which is the paid online event, which is fantastic. So if you, for any reason, don't get the email address, I'm going to drop another link in here that will be part of our follow-up. If you don't get the email, or if you're doing this with me along the way, if you don't get the email, what you can do then to confirm instead is to just go into your Creator Studio to check your status. And that link is here in this next comment. So you would go there, and there it will tell you, if you don't have the email, it'll say, you're ready to go. We've confirmed you. You're ready for monetization. Go ahead and create your first event. So that's where you would go to check that. So that's going to be the first thing, just to get you everything set up. And then you just go and create an event on your page, just like you would any other event. Okay, so that's the key here, is that this has to be done through a Facebook business page and not on your personal account. A personal account isn't going to let you have a payment process. Your business page is going to let you have a payment process. And Frederick, yes, DJs, I'm going to get to that for sure. So when we get into talking about copyright and some of those things and ownership, that's a perfect question and something that a lot of the creatives here are going to have to make sure that they're clear on in going live and the risks that they might take on. So when you set up your event, there is an option, and like I said, I'm going to send you guys some screenshots in a PDF that you'll have access to following this. If you drop me your email in my direct messages, we'll shoot that over. When you create the event, there is an option that says to add the monetization. Then when you go into that section, it's going to let you choose whatever you'd like. So for this one, it gives you levels like 99 cents, $2.99, $3.99, but you can choose whatever price you want to put on that you think is valid for the content you're offering. I basically just went low here because one, a big part of it is a test, but I have spent a good amount of time that hopefully my goal here is to save all of you several hours of your life in kind of hunting and pecking and answering your questions on what's going to happen with this and how it works. So that's pretty cool. So when you set that up, when you invite people to the event, you, again, just like any other event that you might have created on your Facebook business page, you can share it, You can invite people. You can do boosts and put some money on it so that you get a little bit more reach. But here's the key. What you're going to see, like I saw today, is that I had a lot of RSVPs, just like we get for any other event, right? You get a lot of people that are going, you get a lot of people that are maybe or interested. But here, the key is you have to pay to see the live. So if you just RSVP is interested or going, that's great. But if you don't purchase access, you're not going to see the live on the event. And I tested this all out by doing a test and then going in as another account and going live and seeing how all this works. So it truly is gated. It truly is going to require that people pay. And then the cool thing, which may be a question, because one of my key questions was then, I went live in my test event, and then I noticed that after I finished it, it showed up as a post also on my business page. And I thought, can people see this? And then what I realized was only the account that I had tested as could see it. And what you'll see above the video is it actually says purchased content. And so it really only allows those who have paid to see it either in the event or on your business page. So if you don't want people who have paid for it to continue to see it, you can certainly delete it. But it does seem to be functioning correctly, that when that video lives later, once you're done on the event or on your Facebook page itself, that only the people that paid for it can see it. So kind of like if you did a webinar on Zoom and you say, hey, those of you that paid are gonna get access to a recording. Well, what's great about this, it lives on Facebook certainly, but what's great about this is you don't have to worry about all that packaging and email follow-up necessarily. You can just let them know, hey, there it is, you've got access, you paid for it, and it's gonna live there. Now, the next thing I wondered was, okay, well, what if I did want to package this up and maybe put some little clips together for people to promote the next one? Just like any other Facebook Live that you do, you can also go into this video and download it so that you can edit it. And if you wanted to say, okay, a month down the road, people paid for this, but now it's much later and things have changed, I'm going to go ahead and put this video on YouTube or on LinkedIn, or like I said, maybe create little clips for promotions of your next event. You can still, just like any other Facebook Live, download the video to your computer, your phone, edit it, and do all kinds of fun things with it, just like anything else to reuse and repurpose content. So that's cool as well. One of the other pieces that I thought was interesting, and this will be something that I see once the payout comes through, is Facebook has said that this feature, just like a lot of other features that they've been adding lately, this feature has actually been created because they saw the demand and the need that small business owners and freelancers had for doing business virtually and getting paid. And so Facebook basically said, this is for small business owners. This came up via, through the pandemic. And because we want to support the small business owner, some of their pages have actually said that they are not going to charge processing fees for the amounts paid for the event. So we're going to see how that actually shows up because there's one page of help that I read that said, processing fees will apply, and if you simply multiply the number of people by what you charge, you're going to see a different amount in your bank account. But then there's other documentation, like I said, that says they're not going to actually charge people a fee for a year from implementation, which will be really nice if that's the case. So it was interesting, this help documentation also talked about the fact that they were trying, I think for a year, Frederick, they said a year. So, get as much in as you can, and by that year, hopefully you'll have so many people attending and be able to raise your prices that you won't have to worry about those processing fees that they're gonna add in. So we're hopeful. What I'll do too is I'll come back and let you guys know in the comments what I see when things are processed on the back end. So I guess Facebook also said they wanted to create some relationships with Amazon and Apple so that people with accounts there could also have a very seamless click to buy. But they wanted to charge, so Facebook, trying to look like the good guy here, I guess Apple and Amazon wanted to charge as much as like 30% which is a lot. That's a big chunk, right? So Facebook decided we'll just do it on our own and then just do it for free for that year. So we'll see how that goes. So the other side of that coin is, and again, something I will test out when these things come through, we probably all know that when we use PayPal, if someone pays us through an invoice or through like our merchant account, PayPal takes those fees, right? But what I've noticed when setting things up on, Instagram or Facebook through PayPal is it just has me log in personally. So I'm expecting that when the payout comes through for this, that it will just come through as a personal transaction, and then hopefully we also won't see fees on that side either. So that's kind of the open question. Awesome if Facebook does do this fee free for a year, that's fantastic. And then we'll see how that comes through on the PayPal side. Now, if you link your bank account, then that's just coming into your bank account. And then of course any tax issues are a whole nother thing on how you report that through your business bank account or business PayPal or anything like that. So that's nice. So it's a great way to give us this year, depending on what your strategic goals are for this, to give us this year to really build a strong audience and add our value for doing these paid online events, which is pretty exciting. So that is cool. So something else, let's see. You can actually, which I also noticed this last night, you can also invite up to 50 people for free. So just like sometimes people might give you coupon codes or discount codes, let's say, for example, that you're working with people who are already clients. So let's say, for example, I have a client who's already paying me for strategy work, and I'm going to do a couple of webinars, and I say, hey, for these clients, my webinars are free with your monthly retainer. What I can do is send them free access and say, you can also come in and join in on the live video, or see the purchased content, the gated content on my event or Facebook page. So that's a nice feature as well, to be able to do that for people, whether you want to support some nonprofits, support some people you're helping to, learn, or if it's, hey, you're already a good paying client and this is part of my program for you. You can invite up to 50 people for free. Now, this is something I'm going to share with you guys on the follow-up screenshots that I've had. And let me know in the comments. I'm curious to know those of you who are using Business Manager to manage your Facebook page and advertising and content versus those of you who are just using facebook.com/your business page name. And if you don't know what Business Manager is, then don't worry about it. That'll be another maybe webinar that I'll do for people. But Business Manager is basically a tool that helps people using Facebook pages in a really, consistent, strong way with a variety of content, cross-posting, scheduling, and advertising to manage everything they're doing. And for me, I admin a lot of clients' pages, whether that's to help support them or do analytics or ads. So I use Business Manager for that. So something I've noticed in a lot of the changes Facebook is making lately is that there are certain things I can do through business.facebook.com, my business page, versus facebook.com/my business name. Okay. So what I'm going to do is send you some notes here on some of the things that I saw that were different. So for example, if you're in business.facebook.com versus facebook.com, your business page, some of the features and data are in different places. Okay, fair enough. However, in some of these two, some features are just not there. So for example, when I went in business.facebook.com to test out the give free access feature, it shows up, but only 4 people were in there. And it was very strange. It's supposed to show you anyone who likes your page or has RSVP'd to the event or is your friend. And it certainly did not do that. Now, when I tried the feature, simply going through facebook.com, going to my page, and then accessing the event, I was able to see the feature. However, again, the search box that it gave you did not work. So I would have to specifically type the names in and have them show up in the little table if I wanted to pick them. So it's a little funky, and there's always a lot of idiosyncrasies with Facebook, but I'm gonna send you those screenshots so that you know, like, okay, if I wanna use this feature, here's where I have to go to do it. The other thing that was different between using Business Manager and using Facebook was actually seeing who had signed up. So when I was in the Business Manager version of my Facebook page on the event, I could see how many people said they were going as an RSVP but not a purchase. I could see how many people said they were interested. I could see how many purchases were made. But I could only see the people behind going and interested. I could not see the people behind purchased. Now, when I just went into facebook.com, my business page, and accessed the event, there's a little feature at the bottom of the page, not in Insights or where it says purchased, which you would think it would be there, right? Hey, click on purchase, see the people. Makes sense. No, Facebook likes to keep us on our toes. So when I went into the Facebook version, regular Facebook, my page, the event, looked down at the bottom of the event, there was a feature there, which again, I'll send you a screenshot of, that allowed me to then click to see who had actually purchased the event. So this is why I'm doing this and why I'm going to share these resources with you, because it's all of these things that I've been hunting and pecking all week. Like, okay, why can I do this here, but I can't do it there, and it looks different here. So that hopefully it'll make it a lot easier for those of you on this live to go ahead and do this for yourself and find what you need to find to make it the most effective process. But you know what? I'm grateful Facebook is doing this, because I think it's a great opportunity for people. They're changing a lot of things. Features and functions might be moving around a bit, but we'll find them and we'll wrangle them in and find them. I know, right? Facebook is always doing, and I don't know if all of you go ahead and chime in on the comments there. I think by now everyone has the new layout as well. I remember when the first layout came out, I literally thought I was in Twitter. I left and went back to another tab and typed in facebook.com, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's what we look like now. So I'm getting used to it. But so let me know, keep chiming in with the questions, but I want to get into some of the copyright stuff. Now, this is important because this, and there's already, I know there's a fitness instructor over in the UK that is already, she was like a selected influencer by Facebook to start using this feature early on. And she's doing really well teaching fitness classes through this feature. But this is important for our DJs and our fitness instructors. Rose, this may be a little bit different from you, and there might be a little bit more research on this one if you're performing. But if you want to use music that was created by an artist, you have to be careful, because one, we've agreed to terms of service, right, that say I am only going to use content that is mine or that has been made available to me in the public domain, or that Facebook has in its creator studio. Okay, so what that means to my fellow work instructor here is that's not going to work for us, right? Because one, just going live, people get shut down. Like Facebook starts to hear copyrighted music and it'll just cut you off. Now, it doesn't happen all the time, which is interesting, but that's a risk that you take. The bigger risk that you take here is when you do it for free and break copyright for music licensing. That's one thing. Facebook just says, nope, turning you off. This is different because now we're making money off of it. And that's a whole nother level of copyright law, right? And we want to be careful with that. So my presumption is we click these buttons, we agree to legal terms, we're taking money. And now if I start playing some music by Blake Shelton, and they shut me down, they might also say, not only is your live cut off, but we're taking paid online events away from you because you've broken the rules of monetization, right? So our risk level has just gone up a lot. So we wanna be really careful about this, okay? Now, with this fitness instructor that I've been following along as she's in this beta test mode, she's actually found some really great music and high energy fun stuff to use. So there is material out there. So what I'm going to do too here, there's another link and a screenshot that I'm going to share with you guys. And let's see. Okay, so this is going to be in your actually it's in the last link that I sent you, but I'll shoot it over again. And again, remember to do a right click or copy and paste so that you don't lose the live and have to come back to the event. But yeah, it's in the same place, in that Creator Studio. And what you're gonna do is on the left-hand side, when you're in your Creator Studio. Now, I apologize if I'm saying things that you're not seeing, because again, some people are seeing different things depending on the version that they have on Facebook, right? Always frustrating. And this will happen to me. I've done live speaking engagements where I go onto Facebook and I'm like, oh my God, it looks different than it even looked this morning. Gotta make do. But anyway, what I'm seeing, and hopefully what you're also seeing if you're on the page or when you go there later. No, I'm not Mila. I'm just sharing links right now, but I am gonna share, as a follow-up, I am gonna share some screenshots with you afterwards, so that you'll have that. So yeah, right now I'm just sharing links. So if you right click and open another window, or copy paste and go somewhere else so you don't lose the live, hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm talking through. But yeah, you'll get a resource with screenshots following this. So if you do go to that link in your Creator Studio, on the left-hand side, there's a navigation that allows you to see different things. And what we'll focus on now is this Rights Manager first. So if you see Rights Manager, that's going to be where it tells you that you are, your monetization has been approved, and you are able to do the Facebook paid online events. Then when if you look below that, you'll see Creative Tools. And in there you should see Live Dashboard, as well as then under that, Sound Collection. Okay, and in Sound Collection is where you're going to be able to see the music that you can choose from to play on your Facebook Live or use. Okay, so what it allows you to do is search. So in this content, or in this Sound Collection, it gives you options to search by speed, genre, mood, all kinds of different things that you can find there. And then you can download that music, okay? So what it's gonna let you do, so as a fitness instructor perhaps, let's say you wanna create a half-hour long playlist that you're doing dance, or you're doing strength, or a bar class, whatever it might be. You can actually, so it's a little tedious at first, right? Sorry, but we gotta obey those rules to keep our paid online events. So you can go through and search the different types and styles of music, whether that's high speed or slower for yoga or whatever that might be. You can actually download those tracks, which would then allow you to put it into your own, iTunes or Spotify playlist, or however you use that, right? So that's the key there, is if you want to do anything that has music in the background, we want it to either be our own music that we created, something that's in the public domain, which you can actually search. You can go to websites like creativecommons.com or just search public domain music. I don't know how great that is. That's going to be like happy birthday or, things like that. But Facebook really does have a pretty strong sound library right now. Now, Rose, as a performer, I'm not sure how that works for you, so it might take a little bit more research, and you might already know better than I do about performing music, if that was something you wanted to do. So that could be interesting. And then Frederick, you asked about DJs. So there might be similar copyright things, whatever it might be that you have to deal with if you're doing, for example, if you're doing remixes and producing mixes on SoundCloud, that perhaps similar laws apply to if you're doing something like that on Facebook. So that would definitely be something I would do a little bit more research on. And I actually have a lawyer that I'm going to ping to see if she has any answers about some of that stuff, because that kind of takes it to another level of copyright law. Yeah, so Tina, I'm gonna say, I think there's too many issues with work instructors teaching on Facebook Live to get paid, right? So it's kind of that difference between right now, Haley allows it to take place. The two things we have to deal with are Facebook might, once it hears copyright music, just stop it. And then as part of our requirement as a work instructor, we're supposed to take that video down after we've gone live. So even if we are successful with going live to teach, we have to take that down after it's done because of copyright. Now in this version, since we're getting paid for it, we have to be very careful. So for example, Tina, let's say you were also a Zumba instructor. What you might be able to do is go to the sound collection and find world music and create your own choreography and do it that way. The other thing is to find out from Zumba headquarters, since they create their own music that they give to instructors, that may also qualify as music you have the right to use. Similar with formats like Beachbody, right? POE, Turbo Kick, they create their own music. So those might be, copyright-free soundtracks that you'd be able to use to teach. But for work, because it's top charting, not going to work for us here, sorry. Now, if you want to do a bar class with a non-copyrighted music, that may work. So how do you get your own music on the list? That's a great question, Frederick, because that is great. One, you can do it as the DJ, but two, it might be a great opportunity for you to get exposure to your music, right? So I'm going to make a note of that and look into what that takes, because I'm sure there's a submission, right, where you can say, hey, I want my music library to be featured on Facebook's sound collection. So you may not want to give all your best stuff up, right, but it could be a good marketing opportunity to do that and get your name out. And the other thing here too, as we're talking to DJs and fitness instructors, depending on what type of music you do, Frederick, maybe you and Tina partner up together and say, hey, Tina's going to teach a really hot class and Frederick's got some rockin' music to put to that class. Let's partner up and go live on a Facebook paid live event, right? So here's where those opportunities come up, so this could be really cool stuff. So I'll take a look at that and give you some feedback on what I find, because these are just the exciting opportunities that this kind of stuff gets me excited about. You see it at first, you're like, cool, I can charge for an event. But then when we start thinking of ways that it can help you overall, you can partner with other people to make it even bigger and better and keep that income coming in during tough times and great times, right? And having those new business models. That's what's really awesome about this. So that's really cool. So I'll take a look at that. That's a great follow-up research point. Cool. All right. So there are a few other weird little idiosyncrasies too, I think, that I found as I was going back and forth. Oh, yeah, I did make a note of that. There is a Shaun T, if anyone is a fitness instructor familiar with it. There is a Shaun T half-hour long fitness playlist out there. So Shaun T does a lot of the Beachbody stuff. So I think Insanity and a dance class and some other things like that. So that's probably a good one. That is out there on the sound collection. So here was something else that I also found was an oddity, which I'll share you both screenshots for it, was I realized when I was going through my testing process, I went into my event and at the top was a little lead-in that said, get ready to go live. And there was a button that I knew I would go in and click when I was ready to go live. Great, that's how it should be, right? Well, then last night, I went back in again and that button was gone. I was like, oh no, what am I gonna do if that button is gone? Which led me down another path, which I'll also get to. But I was like, wait, once again, two different experiences. And why are they two different experiences? So again, I realized this difference between using Business Manager versus just using Facebook.com, right? So I have to double check, but I'll show you on the screenshots. I believe, again, it was against what I would think would be the way it would work. If I was in Business Manager, went to my Facebook page and then went to my event, that go live button wasn't there. It almost looked like I was another participant. and it had me, it said purchase. I was like, well, where's my go live button? So then when I went back to regular Facebook.com and went to my page and my event, then that button showed up to go live. So that's the other thing you want to make sure if you are a business manager user. This is all this toggling I've been doing this week and testing this is, okay, what does it look like in Business Manager, which you would think would be the way Facebook would have the page manager do it, but there are actually more features and functions on the regular Facebook.com. And so as a summary of that little list, through the regular Facebook.com, I was more able to, or only able to, click the go live button, do the free invites, give this to clients if you want to give this to clients for free, and also see who had actually paid. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So 2 different experiences in 2 different places. So when I went to my event and I realized, oh my gosh, my button is gone. How am I going to do this, right? So then the next questions that came to my mind was, okay, if I don't have the official go live in my event button, my concern was, well, okay, if I just go live in my event by way of a regular post, is it still going to be gated content, right? Or am I going to be now publicly live, which I don't want to do, right? You guys have purchased to be here. You should only be the people to have access to do that. And then I thought, well, what about Zoom, right? So I was having the screen share issue where it wasn't allowing me to go live if I tried to screen share from Facebook. I thought, well, wait, Zoom integrates to Facebook, so maybe I can do it that way. So it did look like if I just went live in the event, there's a message that says you can actually create a setting so that you can create content in that event that only the people who have paid for it can see, which is great. So for example, I'm going to test this out after, but I still want you guys, like I said, shoot me a direct message with your email so I can send you this PDF of the screenshots. But what I'm also going to try as another test is, hey, if I can do a post with a series of images that are these screenshots, but also make it gated so that it's, hey, just you guys who have paid for this event are going to be able to see this post. That would be another way for me to deliver follow-up content to you, which could also be a great option that we could get creative with about how we're doing lives, right? So maybe if you're doing if you're doing a fitness class, you could follow up with, here's a little, pictures of the 7 moves that we did in the first half hour or something like that, that just the paid people get, so a few ideas with that. So that was the other thing that I wanted to test. Zoom did not work. So using Zoom, you can go live to a Facebook page and you can go live to a group. I have not tried to go live to an event before this because I've never really had a reason to, but in my testing process, what I realized was I got excited because I got really close. I went on Zoom and then I clicked the go live on Facebook button, and it did give me the option to go live in an event, and it even gave me the option to go live in this event. But then I got all this weird gobbledygook error message that prevented me from actually doing so, because that would have been my way to still be able to be here FaceTime with you and also screen share. And like I said, even the Facebook direct message, I just couldn't even. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's another way. That's excellent. I haven't tried one of those, so that would be a good one. And when you go live in the event, Frederick, it does give you the option for that stream key. So report back to us if you do decide to do this yourself, and I hope you guys do. After this, go ahead and schedule your own first paid online event, and share the feedback here with everyone to see some of the hiccups and the cool things that we deal with. So yeah, they do have the same way. When you go live, you have the options for the stream key. So hopefully that works for you in a paid event, just like it does when you go live regularly. So I'd love to hear that feedback too. Cool. So hopefully one day, because Zoom does connect with pages and groups, that hopefully one day that will also change and allow us to use our webinar webcasting tool of choice. But right now, not yet, but I'm gonna keep trying, and then we'll see. Your first event is September 1st. All right, excellent. Put a link to your event in the comments. Maybe we can join you. Now you can invite everyone. Awesome. So that's that on the going live and streaming from another tool. And then, oh, the other thing I did want to mention, and I've got my notes over here from all the things I was testing. So the other thing I'm only right now putting together in my head. And so this is not officially telling you that this is something that will happen, but it would seem to be making sense that this hopefully would be the direction it would go. But Facebook has been signing deeper levels of agreements with record labels. And so what that kind of indicates to me is that hopefully, perhaps one day, we'll have a little bit more access to some of the popular music that like fitness instructors might want to use, or other musicians if they're doing covers or things like that, that perhaps one day we'll have access to more popular music that we might use for things like that in the Creator Studio sound collection. So right now that is not the case. The other thing that Facebook has been doing with these record label agreements is, they're trying to grow their video. They're trying to win over YouTube. I don't know if I see that happening, but they're trying, right? So Facebook is signing these record label agreements at deeper levels so that they can also have these musicians and artists' videos on their watch platform. So the other thing that I'm hoping to see from that, again, one, that maybe more popular music will end up in the sound collection that we can use to go live and be creative with on Facebook. But secondly, what you might notice if you're someone who wants to and does try to use music going live is that on YouTube, usually YouTube will keep a video up that has copyrighted music. Not all the time. There's some they'll still take down depending on the record label and the arrangements. But most of the time, what YouTube will do is simply plop in the description of your video, who the music is, and links to buy it on iTunes, right? So they're seeing it for what it is, right? Hey, marketing opportunity. Here's this great song. I'm doing something super fun to it. Click this link and go through and buy it. Whereas Facebook is just like, nope, cut it off. So my hope is that in addition to hopefully maybe down the road getting more options in the sound collection, that if we're not using paid on live events and just going live, whether it's fitness or you're painting and designing and there's music in the background, then instead of shutting your live down or deleting or muting it, that maybe Facebook will start doing what YouTube does and take a cue from that and say, put in your description or in the comments by default, hey, this music is by Common, click here to go buy it on iTunes. We don't know. Facebook does hate sending people off to another platform. That's the only thing. So that's just a little bit of background on possibilities with copyright law and music. So I think we've covered that. So just to kind of go back, go to that first link where you can basically sign up and check your eligibility. And I'm going to send you guys, like I said, an outline in order. The first link to agree to the terms, check your eligibility, get your W-9 form ready because you're going to need to upload that with your business tax ID or social security number, whatever makes most sense for you and how you operate your business. You'll set that up. Then you'll tie in your bank account or your PayPal, whichever you prefer. Once you've done that, just head on, hopefully you'll get the email confirmation. If you don't see the email, I have the link that I'll be sharing with you that you can click on to make sure your confirmation's ready to go. And then once you've got that, go onto your Facebook page, create an event, scroll down to find that little place that says what you want to charge for it, and then have at it. Be safe with the copyright music, figure out what it is you want to share, but then you can do everything with it just like you do with another event. Share it to your personal account, invite as many people as you'd like. You can give some of those free invites out to, your special clients. And then when you go live, it will live there on the event. It will live there on your page behind a purchased content gate. so that it's not open to the public, so that your people who have paid value for it are still treated as the special people they are. And then, you can download the video, like I said. If you want to do some little clips for promos, you still have the option to download and do that. And then I'd love to hear back from all of you. If anyone else like Frederick has an event coming up, please chime in on the comments and share a link to that event when you get it set up, and we'll see if we can support you and take a look. And then I'd love your feedback on the experience when you come back from it and how it worked for you. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. Any more questions, please share them in the comments. And I hope you go make some money. Go live, share your greatness with the world, and make some income for your business in a new way.